whether you need to think about something or not, you feel obligated to think about what everyone else on the mission is doing all the time. And that ends up consuming a lot of thought. So I probably sleep less now. Not that that's a bad thing at all. I think my wife would agree that I'm probably a little bit more stressed out at home, although I try not to be stressed out. She says, I go home and I just don't say a lot. I don't talk about work. And she says, well, that's showing stress. So I try to laugh more now. But it's really fun. It's an enjoyable task to try to pull everyone's needs in the whole team, the greater team, not just everybody on board, but in mission control and the engineering side, to pull it all together and make it all work. And I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah, so I get all the important stuff. Ken Hawk is our mission commander, so he's ultimately responsible that everything gets done. But while he's busy keeping big picture situational awareness and running the mission, he hands off all the important things to me. On the way up, I'll be primarily responsible for the Space Shuttle main engines and making sure they're running correctly, and if they're not, figuring out the correct game plan to optimize our performance with whatever situation we have. Mm-hmm. On the way down, Hawk will be doing the landing, but I'll be putting the gear down. And I tell people, no matter how pretty of an approach he flies, if I don't put the gear down, his landing won't look too pretty.
Right, so in our payload bay, starting in the back in the aft section of the payload bay will be a Russian module. It's called MRM-1. It's a Mini-Research Module. It's similar to MRM-2 that went up to station already. Mm-hmm. It's basically going to be a docking extender to go on the Russian segment. So it'll be a place for them to bring Soyuz up. Because we just put Node 3 up there on the station, we need to put this docking extender so that they still have access to that docking port on the bottom or the nadir side of the FGB, one of the Russian modules. It'll also serve as kind of a logistics place to put things, a big closet up there on the space station.
And my job is actually to go out on the tip of the robot arm out during the spacewalk, grab the boom first, and then while I hold onto the boom, they fly me up to the top of the space station, and then Steve and I will plant that thing like a flag in the very, very top. And then I go back and get the dish, and we put the dish on top of the boom. And that's going to be crazy because I'm going to be flying back and forth, and at one point the robot arm comes straight up on the top of the space station. I'm going to be sticking way up there in the tip. And I've seen pictures of that thing. It looks kind of scary. So, but it also looks really amazing. I'm bringing a camera, so I want to take some good shots so I could come back and show you what that was like, because I'm going to be freaking out again, I'm pretty sure.
Well, as Mission Specialist 3, mostly the middeck. I'm flying up and down on the middeck, and so initially, when we get to orbit, Piers and I will set up the middeck and get everybody out of their launch and entry suits and back and functioning. And coming back home, Garrett and I are in the middeck, and we'll get everybody dressed up again and turn the middeck back into a landing vehicle. So those are the primary portions of that aspect of the mission for me.
Mainly I'll be working with the arm, the station arm, supporting the spacewalk. So while the guys are outside, I'll be moving stuff around for them, and sometimes moving them around. And also be helping Garrett move this Russian module from the payload bay in the shuttle all the way across the Russian segment, plugging it in. And I'll be on the little Russian laptop talking to that thing, trying to make it do jobs during that process. And I think one of the things I'm really looking forward to is on the way home, I'll get to sit on the flight deck with the flight crew. And I've never done that before, so that'll be interesting.